Mr. Ian Boddy, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Nice to see you.
Well, you're here on the extremely successful electronic music label DIN, which you've been running for, God, how many years is it now? It must be a bunch.
It's actually been going 25 years next year.
Wow.
I know, wow, exactly. How's that happened?
So you've got a release just out, haven't you? Didn't you?
Yes, it's the Tone Science Live album. We did a concert at the Capstan Theatre in Liverpool in April, where it was all modular synth players. There was Scanner, Polypause, Nigel Mulaney, Feedline's cartographer, and myself. We all played solo sets, then we all came together at the end for this mega ambient drone piece.
It's like at the end of Band-Aid, where everybody went on stage together.
Yeah, kind of like that, but quieter.
Drone-aid.
yeah.
So, but we're not talking about the label this time. I mean, Tone Science is a sub-label of yours.
It is.
And it's inevitable that you finally would have made some modules, right?
I guess I've been using modular since about 1978, 1980. So yeah, it's been on my mind for a while. And I had a conversation with Alan from AJH Synth about 15 months or so ago. And I said, Alan, I want to do some modules. Would you be interested in helping me design these? And he went, yeah. And we're both from the northeast. We understand each other. So my job was to come up with the ideas, the concept. I drew them very roughly on a bit of paper. Alan came up for a cup of tea and a digestive. And I said, can you build those? And he said, yep. And then he's built them, and we've co-released them as an AJH Tone Science release.
Ah, okay. So these are them on the bottom skiff, is that right?
Yeah, there's a triple cross here, and there's two chance delays. So there's the one on the left, the chance delay. There's two of those, and one of the triple cross, the bigger one on the right.
So am I right in assuming these are the chance delay is a delay, and that's cross?
No, it's not
it's
actually.
Not?
No, I'll have to explain.
Oh, okay.
All right. Should I start with the triple cross?
Yeah, go on then.
Well, this is the kind of a patch I used to use in my Surge, or still do in my Surge, where I take lots of oscillators and crossfade and morph them into a soundscape which will continuously change. So what I have here is four, from the 1010 bit box, I've got four kind of ambient drones, pitches,
right.
And they're going into two pairs, and then the outputs of those go for the last pair, and there's three non-synchronous LFOs, and you'll hear it's very gently just does its thing. It very gently morphs and crossfades, and with having non-synchronous LFOs, it'll really never repeat. It'll become kind of obvious the stereo when I up the rate of the LFO.
Oh, that's nice.
You get a very... That's almost into an audio range there. And in fact, if you're going to ask the question, yes, it's DC coupled. So if I take this LFO out and plug another VCO in, I can modulate that channel with an audio oscillator, which has been changed in the pitch of it. So it's almost like a ring mod.
And it's moving around in the stereo image as well.
It is.
Oh, that's nice.
And I can superimpose this over the top of that. So it's a very useful module. You can use it as VCAs, you can use it as crossfaders, you can use it as panners, or any combination of the above, and it's DC coupled as well.
Nice.
Okay, that's a very quick look at the triple cross. I'll just turn those off. I'll show you the chance delay. I stress you don't have to have two, but it's quite nice for the demo here to show you one against the other. So I've got two sequence lines playing from the Hermod. There's a bass line with this oscillator, again it's an AJH, a top end with this. They're just basically going through a VCF, a VCA, there's an envelope here controlling the VCF, VCA.
Right.
So the trigger from the sequencer are the red cables going in, and then they go out of the chance delay to the envelope, okay?
Right.
So that's playing, but it's 0% chance it ain't going to pass. And as I turn up the chance for the bass line, you'll suddenly hear it, but it's only going to play the occasional note, because that's quite a low probability. And as I turn it up, until of course you get to 100%. Of course you can voltage control this.
So it's like introducing complexity.
It's a probability of when it's going to play. If I bring up the second voice, So they're both in time. Now, you asked about the delay. It's not echo, it's delaying when the trigger gets passed. It's a gate delay. So watch how this top line starts to drag against the bottom, the bass line. And then you get a nice little sweet spot here, with like a nice little bit of syncopation.
Sort of dotted or
whatever. Now, there's one other effect called length. It triggers a very short pulse. What the length does is increase the trigger's length to become a gate. But if you increase the length of the gate to be longer than the time for the second trigger to appear, it'll ignore that and it'll only then re-trigger on the third trigger. Effectively, it's beat divide. It's called divide by n. So it's like a beat divider. So if I put this up again, about here, you'll hear the length get to a point where it does that. That's playing half the speed of that now. And of course you can get also the weird poly, I get like a 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, yeah.
It's a bit like, it's like putting clocks through function generators.
It's a clock,
yeah.
So if I combine all these effects, bit less chance, and then increase the decay of this, bit of echo and reverb, I can constantly change, the sequences aren't changing, I'm changing the time between the timing.
The
I can get some really weird.
And I guess the thing is you can find a sort of happy sweet spot that you might want to stick around for a while.
You get these little happy sweet spots of syncopation and delay and probability. And you can even put a sound source, you can even put an oscillator through this, and it does some really gnarly, strange things to sound. So both modules are DC coupled.
So I guess they're sort of performance, based on performance. That's the idea, to be more for performative.
I love chance and randomness. I just like having this knob called chance. I can just turn it on and off. So if you're playing a set with sequence lines, rather than continuously playing the same thing over and over, I can increase the density of when it gets played and decrease from really sparse to full on, right the way back to just.
Yeah, neat. Hey, there it is. Yeah. So, are these available now? Are they in production?
Yes, yeah. The Triple Cross has been out for a couple of months, and the Chancellor for a few weeks. Yeah.
Are you the right guy to ask about how much they cost, or is that?
Yeah, the Triple Cross retails at 260, and the Chancellor at only 175.
Right, cool. But you definitely want more than one, I think, wouldn't you?
I think the Chancellor works particularly well with two. You don't have to have two, but when you play one rhythm off against another, you can get some really interesting things. Triple Cross, well, if you want to buy more than one, I'm quite happy, but I think one Triple Cross in most people's rigs would be good.
And I guess you could run drum triggers into it as well.
Anything you want, yeah. Yeah, the DC coupled so you can mess around with sound, but yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much.
No, it's a pleasure.